Go. More riots in Minnesota. I think we need to blame the politicians for what's going on. Like, all the videos are out there, and we got the politicians interpreting, saying what we're supposed to be seeing, holding the ICE agent as the enemy of the people. Like, their interpretation sucks. And a lot of regular people are running with it, especially young people who are out there protesting and starting riots all over Minnesota. I'm really going to blame the politicians because they're the ones that got the mic, the ones that got the camera. And when they go ahead and use it and talk, are just telling people that this is not fair, that a person got killed. They don't talk about how a police officer got assaulted, how it was crazy. So I'm going to blame the politicians for this. Everything that's going on is on them. Because they could have told people to just wait. Let the investigation finish. Let's not jump into conclusions. Let a professional interpret the video. And let it be clear what we're looking at. How civilians are supposed to work with authority, with police. Because otherwise, you got people on the extreme left saying that somebody got killed and that the police are killers. And then you got people on the extreme right saying that he was just defending himself. Logically, what else was he supposed to do? Maybe I should be using the words unalive. But let's take a look at the news so we can see how crazy it is, thanks to the politicians pointing out what's happening or what we should be seeing with these videos as unfair. I think it's crazy. Check it out.
So that new video from the agent's body cam puts the shooting, we're going to watch it again, of Renee Good in a new light.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at you. That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I said go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the car.
So this is what I see first and foremost. He told her exactly what to do. He gave an order that as a civilian, as an American, you're supposed to comply. He's not saying anything illegal. Just get out the car, lady. Instead, I'm just looking here. No assumption. Let's just call it out what's happening.
Out of the car.
That looked like a hit. It sounded like somebody got hit. And I could hear her wife screaming, go, 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 go. Instead of saying, stop, get out the car. And that police officer, gotta give the man a shout out. He's a good shot. First shot, he got her. Insane. How do you shoot somebody while you're getting hit? But now, because of this video, they're taking it to the streets. Let's see. Write down, how would you interpret what we're looking at?
We now know that Ms. Good and her partner were so-called ICE trackers. They're people who spend their free time following, monitoring, and impeding ICE agents as they do their lawful work, their jobs. Now, they do this because they believe their state shouldn't be subject to federal immigration law, the ICE trackers, that is. And they don't want any jurisdiction of the federal government here in Minneapolis whatsoever. And if this left-wing resistance plays out everywhere, where people just decide we're not going to abide by federal law, what happens next? Now, from what we see in the new video tonight, after the officers told this woman to stop, she refused. And then, with her partner egging her on, she began to spin her wheels. The officer in front of her car reasonably believed he was in mortal danger. Again, here's a clue. If you don't want to get injured or, heaven forbid, have a tragic ending to your life, comply with law enforcement's requests.
And you know what's crazy? This is a mom with a 6-year-old at home on a Wednesday. Why is she out there protecting the rights of illegal immigrants? People in this country breaking the law. What is she doing? She's out there helping them out? Insane. Whatever the Democratic Party is doing to convince these people to go out and try to help everybody breaking the law, come on now.
But this duo went there with a purpose. They went to grab video for social media to demonize officers and to interfere with their operation. They want to drive ICE out of the city. And the lapdogs of the left, well, they spread hateful narratives. And then their poodle politician friends, they just rush in to confirm them.
We are all shaken and outraged by another terrible, unnecessary, violent event instigated by the reckless agenda of the Trump administration. When a president endorses tearing families apart and attempts to govern through fear and hate rather than shared values, you foster an environment of lawlessness and recklessness.
This is what I like to call straight up TDS syndrome. What does Trump has anything to do with these people deciding to go out there and black traffic for police officers? Like, these are people with a 9-to-5, police officers. They're out there trying to do a job, and here we got actors trying to impede them or impede their progress, putting a stop to them. This is insane. And at least right now, people cannot call this racism because she was not black. I think they're trying to say that this is anti-LGBTQ because the lady got 2 kids from a previous marriage and decided to marry her girlfriend. How about you stay home and watch television, see what's going on, and not put yourself in front of a police gun?
What we have here are 2 Americas. One America believes that we have a legitimate federal system, and thus our laws should be enforced by the executive branch. That's the DOJ, FBI, ICE, et cetera, with the president, obviously, the chief law enforcement officer.
The idea that Tim Walz and a bunch of radicals in Minneapolis are going to go after and make this guy's life miserable because he was doing the job that he was asked to do is preposterous.
You know what? J.D. Vance should be talking to the people. Like, he said a lot of good things, but there's a group of people who are not listening that need to hear this. People don't get tricked into going out to the streets, starting riots to help others who broke the law by getting into this country illegally. Don't put yourself in harm's way for politicians or for whatever narrative it is that they're pushing about illegal migrants.
Unprecedented thing is the idea that a local official can actually prosecute a federal official with absolute immunity. I've never seen anything like that. It would get tossed out by a judge.
The other side, the other America, is leftists like Walz and Fry, et cetera. They believe that the U.S. government action, if it takes place, is only legitimate if it advances progressive goals. So if a Republican president, any Republican president really, enforces laws that the left disagrees with, well, the activists will just threaten.
You know what? This is the perfect time for us to call it out. The fact that forget left, forget right. Let's just use common sense. Why would anybody do what that lady did with her car? At that point, the car was a weapon and she tried to hit a police officer with it. I mean, I don't even know how anybody can justify that. That lady should have been in therapy. Have somebody to talk to about her mental problems.
To burn it all down, like they did after George Floyd.
When the city burned, after George Floyd, all of a sudden there were some charges. So for those who are on the media talking about, don't burn it down, don't set it on fire, let me tell you this, we need justice and we need it now.
What?
Yeah, actually saying that burning the city down will get results. So to them, the US is either progressive, radically so, or it is illegitimate. For a group that wailed, though, about insurrection, that wasn't the insurrection, that obviously was not an insurrection, man, they're sure sounding like they want one now.
Everything they told you about the Minneapolis car ramming was a lie.
Yup.
First, they told you the agent was never hit.
The ICE agent walked away with a hip injury that he might as well have gotten from closing a refrigerator door with his hip.
But it's an injury. That's a lot. A hip injury, any injury, it's an injury. It's way too much. You shouldn't even throw snowballs to a police officer. It's a cop on duty. So why are they trying to minimize it like it's nothing?
He was not injured. I've seen worse injuries from doing that. And so give me a break.
So this is what people are listening to. So I'm going to blame the politician for sending out the wrong message. Trying to tell people that what the guy did was wrong. So you're putting other police officer, federal police officer, in the wrong here. So they're creating a narration or a narrative that fits their viewpoint. This is so wrong. Charges should be brought up on this mayor.
No, he was not ran over. He walked out of there with a hop in his step.
Then they said this was just a mom stuck in traffic.
It's horrifying to watch. And to think about this 37-year-old woman drops her kid off at school, not involved in protest activity or anything, seems to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
They also said she was a legal observer.
She died trying to be a legal assistant to legal observer to look out for the interests of the most vulnerable members of our community. And she leaves behind a lot of people who love and admire her.
None of this is true. New video from the ICE agent that was rammed was just released, proving he was hit. The woman was there to block the op, and she wasn't a lawyer. Watch.
I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at you. It's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy.
So even this video, again, the politicians are interpreting this video as not being that bad. Even though we could see it, that she pressed on the gas with the car aiming at the police officer.
Okay.
Out of the car. Get out of the car.
I just heard instructions, get out the car.
Get out of the car.
Whoa!
Now, we don't know whether this woman intended to hit the agent with the car or was peeling off, but she accelerated right towards him. Legally, looks justified. But we wish the officer hadn't been in front of the car. It appears he fired his weapon as he was getting clipped. The woman on foot calling the agent fat was the driver's lesbian partner. And they didn't just make a wrong turn and get stuck in the snow. They'd been stalking the ICE officers all day, interfering with their raids. Video shows the car was blocking traffic for 4 minutes, refusing to leave and not complying with orders. And she waited until the agent was in front of the car and the other agent was grabbing onto the door handle before she accelerated, while the partner screams, "Drive, baby, drive." Fox's DHS sources confirmed today that Renee Good was a trained member of ICE Watch. It's a coalition of activists whose mission it is to make ICE's job as difficult as possible. Here's a flyer from ICE Watch that directs people to block the kidnappers' cars. And for white witnesses,
They even have a flyer for this. Like, what are they doing? Incriminating themselves? Handing out incriminating evidence?
to put their bodies in front of the person that's being kidnapped. See what's going on here? This is an intelligently designed stagecraft. A fellow ICE watcher called Renee an anti-ICE warrior. Now, every vigilante in Minneapolis wants to come out and play.
If I continually see you following us, interfering with us, honking your horn, blocking our cars, you have a very high probability of making a really bad decision and being arrested today.
There's a lot of ice around here.
Just so you know, if we continue to have you follow us, okay, have fun. Don't make a bad decision today.
These women think it's a game. They could just lay down wheels in the middle of traffic. They can tailgate federal agents, box them in, and alert Eagles of impending searches. Our own Matt Finn was doing an ICE ride along in Minneapolis when they got chased down. Watch.
Okay, so in the distance is a blue Rivian, an electric truck. It's been trailing us down for miles.
Wow, we got Americans wasting their time, energy, gas, and money just to help out illegal migrants, to stop ICE. What is this? Trump derangement syndrome to the next level. I don't see how anybody can be convinced of this. Like people who don't care about their wallet or about taking their time to do other things.
What are you guys going to do?
If that individual does anything that would indicate that they're going to impede our federal law enforcement operation, we're going to stop. We're going to give them a warning. And then from there, they will be arrested.
That SUV is also trailing you and beeping at you right now.
That is correct.
These warriors, mostly women, have nothing better to do in the middle of the day on a weekday than to drive around and block immigration cops from doing their jobs. Jobs they were hired to do because people voted for it. Here's how it works. They look for tinted out windows, out-of-state plates, and then they shoot out coordinates on encrypted apps with hundreds of members so that ICE warriors can hit the streets and swarm agents. One of them told a Minneapolis paper they'd rather spend a night in jail than see a neighbor locked up for months or be deported.
Again, I'm going to blame the politicians for this. The people who go on television sending out the wrong message. And we got, I guess, mostly women, instead of being home watching soap opera or taking care of their kids, coming out to the community to fight agents, to slow down their progress. Wow, they got nothing better to do.
Let's be honest. These activists don't even know these illegals. They don't know their names, where they live. A lot of them have issues and are looking for attention. They're going after ICE agents in street clothes now. One report says a gaggle of women followed ICE agents who weren't even in uniform into a restaurant and hassled them, screamed at them so loudly the guys had to leave without breakfast. Patriotic men in uniform are getting run out of diners in America. But MS-13 can sit down and order huevos rancheros. No bueno. One woman spit a loogie at an agent. Enough's enough. Here comes the cuffs.
And you know, a lot of times it's these women because they know women get a better treatment against cops than men. Like it's so easy to take down a man and put him in handcuffs. But with a girl, you have to get female officers to pat them down and look over them. And nobody's going to go over the top with a girl or with a woman because that would be abuse, right? So it's a crazy weapon that these extreme lefties are using.
Step back. She hit a vehicle.
Like, look at that lady. She looks like a solid 4. Nobody's paying attention to her.
There's a term for this. It's called suicidal activism. Remember suicide by cop? People are so dangerous, they dare officers to shoot them.
You want to shoot me? Shoot me. Go ahead.
Look at that old lady. She gave up on life. Now she's putting herself in danger. To help who? It's like he said, she doesn't even know these illegals. Just people trying to get by law enforcement, trying to get through breaking the law. Is that what we're doing?
This is what's going on now. A lot of these women want to be victims, and the Democrat politicians have no problem pushing these women into the front lines. Human shields for the party machine. Remember what the base said this summer? There needs to be blood to grab the attention of the public and the press. They're taking it seriously. Hips isn't telling his people to be safe.
Some are even being told they need to be more willing to go out there and get shot when fighting. That was a direct quote, get shot when fighting back against some of Trump's policies. How do you respond to that, Leader Jeffries?
Well, we are in a more is more environment in terms of the unprecedented assault on the American way of life.
Democrats are now saying that ICE, just a bunch of trigger-happy killers.
But the truth is that every single person in the United States of America, U.S. citizens, white, black, brown, whoever you are, you have to worry now that an ICE agent is going to come and shoot at you and kill.
You know, it's crazy because they never have citizens going through hell, running away from the cops. They're only doing it to illegal migrants. So why is this lady even talking like that? Like they're a citizen in danger when they're not. Such a bold-faced lie.
Kill you.
They're saying all illegals aren't criminals, but all ICE agents are. The Maryland dad gets due process. This ICE agent gets none. They're saying put your body on the line because ICE is going to shoot you in cold blood in your car.
The message from this administration is clear. Only they determine the truth. And when their forces come to your city, obey or die. And if you die, you clearly didn't obey.
Like, again, what is he sending a message out to illegals? Regular 9-to-5 citizens who have a job, all they do is they go to work. They go home, they worry about their kids, worry about themselves, their loved ones. And that's it. They don't even think about running into the law because they're not breaking the law.
That's a late night comedy show. The former governor of Minnesota, Jesse the Body Ventura, no relation, just declared war on the federal government. Watch.
We have leadership now that has destroyed the Constitution. They don't follow it. They could care less about it. Am I right or wrong?
You're wrong.
I took an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I view after January 6th, the Republican.
They keep going back to that, to January 6th. They won't let that go. Talk to me without mentioning January 6th. Let it go. All right? It wasn't that deep. Jesse Ventura, man. Can you use a little more common sense?
Party is a domestic enemy to our Constitution.
Why are the Democrats starting a civil war over foreigners? A civil war over foreigners? I'm confused. Have you ever seen these people fight so hard for Americans?
Seriously, over illegal migrants who don't even belong here, who don't want to apply and wait in line. Like, what are we doing here? Although that Jesse Ventura just wants attention. So that's the narrative that Hollywood wants. Hollywood just wants your attention.
I've never seen it. People who put on a badge and uniform and swear an oath to obey the Constitution every day, they're the enemy. The agents protecting the country from gangs and drugs, they're the ones being called Nazis and being hit with cars. Tim Walz just called Minneapolis the new Gettysburg, and they're drafting women to fight.
I quit my job for this, and I've been having flare-ups and stuff, so it's like I can barely, and I have panic attacks.
She quit her job. So someone's apparently paying these people to protest.
You know, Tim Walz got to go to jail. Oh, check this out.
Shame!
Do you have a job? Do you have a job?
Shame! Shame! I'm getting paid right now!
Vance yesterday said Renee Good was part of a vast left-wing network. We've documented how these people are trained, paid, and organized.
There was a woman screaming, shame, 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 shame. She was a agitator, probably a paid agitator, but in my opinion, she was an agitator, a very high-level agitator, so professional. She wouldn't stop screaming. I said, this isn't a normal situation. This is a professional troublemaker.
These are the same people torching Teslas, chanting Free Palestine at BLM riots. Doesn't matter. They just want to stick it to the man and cause some heat in the streets because something's not right upstairs and they hate their country. Even after Trump was shot, almost killed twice, MSNBC is still calling him a dictator.
Once you have 3.5% of a population protesting nonviolently against a dictator or an authoritarian, that is essentially an unstoppable force that they can't oppose.
What happens to dictators? They get killed, arrested, toppled. You think that's what Mata is asking for? Does she want Trump to get Maduro'd or Gaddafi'd or Saddam'd? First step, light the city on fire.
When the city burned, after George Floyd, all of a sudden there were some charges. So for those who are on the media talking about, don't burn it down, don't set it on fire, let me tell you this, we need justice and we need it now.
Once the cities start burning, they can repeat the summer of love.
And it's crazy how some of these women are the main agitator. They got like a voice to get people out there, to get who? The young men who go out there and take a bullet for them. That's crazy.
Where they scare the country into DEI and defund the police. It's the same MO. Senator Chris Murphy, the same guy who told us he's at war with President Trump, says Democrats' next step is to defund ICE. So if the Democrats win the midterms, ICE is going broke.
I agree that we need congressional restraint to limit or address decisively the lawlessness that the Department of Homeland Security has unleashed on the American.
They never said that when Biden was in office. When Biden was letting all open borders, letting all the illegal immigrants in, what was the law for that?
American people.
Democrats can't win an election or win in court, so they're forcing women to get hurt. So cities burn to drive Republican numbers down with chaos so they can swoop into power on a pile of ash and bone and doge Homeland Security.
Do you think ICE should be abolished?
We have to absolutely start over with this agency. And frankly, Kristi Noem and leadership of ICE should be dragged in front of Congress. And let's be clear, how they are acting right now is unconstitutional. So should we throw out this current model of ICE? Absolutely, yes.
Again, I'm going to blame the people on top, the politicians who got a microphone, who can reach thousands of people, telling everybody that ICE is wrong and that they are doing the right thing by breaking the law. Essentially, that's what they're saying.
Yes.
So we finally found the one thing Democrats want doged. We're going to keep the money for sex changes in Guatemala, but we're going to strip it from ICE. So now that we understand the strategy, we have to realize the left's tactics, they're only going to get more aggressive. They're going to drive more cars into ICE. They're going to throw their bodies into ICE cars. They're going to spit, kick, hit. It's going to look like a UFC fight. It's going to look like Demolition Derby. Suicide by ICE. That's what you're going to start seeing. So they can frame the federal government as a murderous dictatorship and then take any means necessary to end it. The Trump administration has to be vigilant about all ongoing ICE operations. They need to start setting up perimeters around entire blocks, boosting manpower, providing backup for the safety of the ICE officers and the agitators. Because these guys want blood. That's what they've said. We can't give it to them. They want a civil war. They've said that. Can't give it to them.
Crazy.
So be calm, be professional, but be very strong and very aggressive when conducting operations. Make an example out of people. Arrest people for obstruction. Conduct surveillance. Make sure everyone has body cameras. Don't let them interfere with the mission. Mass deportations.
Yep.
That's what you voted for.
Yep.
And that's how you save the country.
Now, let me just state an obvious fact. Left-wing political leaders, some in the legacy media mob, they are putting their supporters' lives at risk. Their endless, incendiary, dehumanizing rhetoric has resulted in more violence and threats against ICE agents than we have ever seen.
And did you see that sign? ICE is domestic terrorism. Again, the word that they're putting out there are just crazy against the police.
Agents, they are simply doing their jobs, the jobs that they were hired to do. They're conducting dangerous raids around the country. They are enforcing federal immigration law, supremacy clause. That means jurisdiction is with the federal government. That's it. In many cases, they're getting violent criminals off the streets. They are not the Gestapo, as Tim Walz has claimed. This is not Nazi Germany, as other Democrats have claimed. This is not a dictatorship of any kind. We are, in the United States, a constitutional republic. We are governed by the rule of law. The left, especially under Biden and Harris, they have aided and abetted widespread lawlessness, assisted by Democratic mayors and governors in their respective sanctuary cities and states. We have allowed in known terrorists and murderers and rapists and cartel members, other violent criminals and drug dealers. And ICE is trying to make our streets and city more safe, more secure. Democrats need to stop lying to the country and their base in particular, whipping them into a frenzy. Or guess what? The predictable outcome is more people sadly will get killed.
Again, the left have the total control or complete control of the narrative of what gets put out there to the public. And they got to go back and put out the information that these cops, ICE agents, they're part of the federal government. They're part of the country. Stop attacking them. Stop working against them. You're going to get arrested, or even worse.
Now take a look at some of the protests in the past few days.
That guy. He's still going to stop the car. Look at all the beta male going out there. What are they doing? Why don't you go get a job, sir? Get a 9 to 5. Again, the politicians got to come out and tell the people to stop it. I think that they should be locking up politicians, arresting them, making that example out of them, to show that this is wrong. You can't do this. You cannot weaponize our whole community or population to go up against the federal government, which is essentially what they're doing, man.
Now, this is what ICE agents have to deal with every single day, everywhere they go. And in Minneapolis, here's some more. Take a look.
If I continually see you following us, interfering with us, honking your horn, blocking our cars, you have a very high probability of making a really bad decision and being arrested today, okay?
Why is that lady there?
Oh, then why are you giving her a warning? I'm giving her a warning to not interfere with what we're doing, to not make a bad decision today and ruin your life. Okay, thank you.
That guy's being nice.
Okay, all righty. Thank you. Have a good day.
I hope you have a terrible day.
Indoctrinated, unhinged individuals seem to believe that Renee Good was murdered in cold blood. Is it a tragedy? Every death is a tragedy. It's sad. It was preventable.
Yeah.
For merely existing in Donald Trump's America. They would have you believe that lie. And because that's what their dear leaders in the Democratic Party, now radicalized and extreme, are telling them. Example, Exhibit A, AOC. Take a look.
I understand that Vice President Vance believes that shooting a young mother of 3 in the face 3 times is an acceptable America that he wants to live in, and I do not.
They need to file charges against this lady going up against the government. She worked for the government But because she's on the left, she's going up against it. That's insane. Complete TDS.
And that is a fundamental difference between Vice President Vance and I. I do not believe that the American people should be assassinated in the street. Thank you.
None of that is true, whipping people's minds into a frenzy. Of course, you got to add in the congenital liar, Adam Schiff. You know, he looked at the same footage we showed you, and he concluded that Renee Good was she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, but was doing it like day in and day out, according to reports, before getting attacked by ICE for no reason at all. Take a look.
And to think about this 37-year-old woman drops her kid off at school, not involved in protest activity or anything, seems to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. But at one point, she's waving other cars to come on past, trying to make sure that she's not in the way, although she's been pulled over. And then you see her trying to turn away from these officers, and the shots fired into the car. The wheels of the car pointed not towards the agent, but away from the agent. That's what leaps out to me from the video.
The woman next to her got out of the car, taunting, as we just showed you, ICE officers, as she was. Keep in mind, this woman was a dedicated anti-ICE agitator who was stalking and impeding federal agents all day. You know, as the New York Post put it, she was, quote, an ICE watch warrior who was trained to resist the Fed.
Women got a lot of time in their hands to go and do this, put themselves in the front line in favor of illegal immigrants they don't even know. To me, it looks like politicians put in their mind that Trump is the bad guy and we got to do everything in our power to stop him. Which is like, hello, we live under this government. You're just going up against the law, you're going to get arrested or unalived, you know?
Like always, the congenital liar is wrong. And then there's, of course, Mr. Fang Fang himself, Eric Swalwell. He wants to get a promotion. He wants to be worse than Gavin Newsom. It appears that, well, he staged a fake impromptu interview set to dramatic music in order to politicize the death of Renee Good and hype up his supporters, if he has any. Take a look.
Hey, Congressman. What's going on, man? What the is up with ICE murdering a woman in Minneapolis?
She has a name, right? Renee Good. Looks like she was a mom of 3 and had every right to go see her kids last night. And instead, she's dead.
Why?
And of course, this is what would happen when you have a president who surges his thugs
into
our communities, masked, unidentified. And I guess you're lucky now if all that happens is you're thrown in the back of a van or you're dragged by your hair through the streets, because now they're just shooting people in the face and bodies are piling up. So yes, to ICE, my message is stay the out of California.
Again, these people got to be sent to jail or made an example out of them. That the message they're putting out there is just getting viewers upset. Have more women come out to the streets and protest. We got to come down the streets, man. This is ridiculous. Because if anything, Trump should send the National Guard to arrest everybody.
Stay the F away. Okay, don't enforce laws. Oh, the border is closed. The border is secure. Up next, Pothole Pete blasting the ICE agent who fired defensive shots. According to Pete, he should have been trained on how not to get hit by an accelerating SUV headed right at you.
What kind of training is that? Like, are you supposed to go to school and practice dodging a car?
Okay, take a look.
A Minnesota woman lost her life yesterday in an incident that never should have happened. She should be with her family, alive and well right now. We have an ICE agent who, by the way, is or should have been trained not to be in front of a vehicle and never to shoot into a moving vehicle.
Now, far-left mayor, this idiot, Jacob Fry, also weighed in, mocking ICE agents and their injuries. Take a look.
Don't take my word for it. Don't take their word for it. Watch the video from every single angle.
Yeah.
I mean,
We
the
saw
ICE agent walked away with a hip injury that he might as well have gotten from closing a refrigerator door with
He got
his
hit.
hips.
He got hit.
He was not injured. I've seen worse injuries from doing that.
Yeah, you go out there and do your job, and at the end of your shift, take a hit by a car. That is not really that serious, just a hit by a car. That's insane. Nobody should be putting up with that.
And so give me a break. No, he was not ran over. He walked out of there with a hop.
He limped
in his step.
Yeah.
Look, we can keep going. I could play these dishonest, incendiary statements from influential, radical left-wing figures all night long. The one thing I cannot play on this show is the same people we're showing you, these same radicalized Democrats, ever showing any sympathy to the hundreds and thousands of Americans that have been murdered and raped or victims of other violent crimes by unvetted, illegal immigrants, the ones they said were not coming into the country.
It's crazy that they fight more to protect the law of illegal migrants who really don't have as much legal rights as people that live in this country that pay taxes.
When they were lying to the country because they put the so-called rights of illegals above your safety, your security, and the security of the American people. And now Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, who recently compared ICE to Nazi Gestapo, is now, quote, inviting all Americans to join Minnesota in a day of unity. The gaslighting and deception, it is off the charts.
You gotta get arrested. Ultimately, Tim Walz got to get arrested and fired.
It's you.
All right, I might watch this. Let's see.
Stop it.
Never
All
looked,
right.
never looked.
Guess you're too lazy to chant Gutfeld. It's Friday, so you know what that means. Let's welcome tonight's guest. It's January, and he still doesn't have a date for the prom. Host of the Guy Benson Show, Guy Benson. He was kicked off his high school wrestling team when they found out he was 40. Host of the Jim Norton Gets Savvy podcast, comedian Jim Norton. He's the lead anchor on Fox and Friends First, which is like being the lead anchor on the Titanic. Todd Pyro. She often gives to the homeless, but enough about her exes. New York Times bestselling author, Fox News contributor, Carol Duke. That was my brain. All right. Before we get to some news stories, let's do this.
Greg's Leftovers.
Yeah, it's Leftovers, where I read the jokes that we didn't use this week, and as always, it's my first time reading them. So if they suck, we'll dress Joe Mackey up as a penguin and send him to a penguin slaughterhouse.
All right.
Not much to explain there. All right, to encourage them to join the United States, President Trump is considering paying each Greenland resident $100,000.
Whoa.
So if you do the math, this could cost the U.S. $100,000. According to reports, the Iran regime is cracking. Protesters are so grateful for American support, they've switched from chanting death to America to chanting severe bodily harm to America.
You know what? Let me pause it right there. So if you're still watching this video, give it a thumbs up. Give it a like. So continue making more videos like this one. Shout out to, I got a 1 like on Facebook. Shout out to you. Who is it? Anthony Bryant. And we are here. My name is Noel, here at Verbal on Life. Trying to create a show. This is not my new 9 to 5. Not going out there, but just going on the internet to check out the craziness happening all around the country. And right now, Minnesota, we need people to get on the mic and go up against the left-wing narrative that seems to be suffering from TDS. Trump derangement syndrome, talking about the ICE agents are bad, where these are just Americans trying to keep up with the law and deporting all illegal immigrants that don't belong here. Let them fight. Let them put up their fight. Let them go up to a judge and explain themselves why they haven't become citizens. What the hell is taking so long? You're just going to find somebody to pay up to marry or something to become citizens? Instead, they continue to live illegally, breaking the law. And on top of that, those that, besides that particular law, go ahead and rob and steal and do all the crazy shit that we don't want to put up with. I'm a migrant. Well, not me. My parents came to this country paying high bills and paying their taxes. Why we got to fight so hard to let illegals come into this country also? If anybody wants to come into this country, apply and wait your turn. You're going to get in. Just be patient. With that said, what else are we going to say? Today is Saturday. Damn, I'm in the middle of battling two different fights. I'm in the middle of battling my stair lift. The battery died, so I got to call the company to replace the battery. It's not moving. It needs replacement. I've had enough for 2 years, 2.5 years. So I think it's enough. We need a new battery. And my second fight, my divorce, which is taking more time than it needs to be. All it's missing is one signature from my ex-wife, and we can move on. There goes my new girlfriend, yawning, because she's cool like that. And it's crazy. I went from an ex-wife, that was quick, to now I have a new wife that I'm ready to marry. I want to get married as soon as possible. So as soon as this is done and she signs the divorce paper, I'm going to send out an invitation to my new marriage. Hopefully by June, July, I should be walking the line again. With my third marriage, how gangster is that? Like, my first marriage was all right. My second one, biggest mistake of my life, highest stress level ever. So I'm looking to get married a third time to just calm down the nerves and ride it out with the new one. With a new wife, she's over here watching a movie. Talk about tranquility. You know how peaceful that is? That we don't have to worry about anything. Just live life in this beautiful mansion that I was able to put together and buy. Luckily. But my ex-wife, she's smart. She's a smart one. Move on in life. Good luck with that. And let's not talk about this anymore. Just sign the papers and let's move on. We came to an agreement back in November 8th, November 9th. We came to an agreement how to split everything that we own, our earnings and our debt. Everybody signed off on it except for her. I mean, she signed a notarized paper, but forgot to sign one more, a second amendment, which is the only thing that's missing. So once you sign that, I should feel better about myself. And today's Saturday. I don't know if any stores are going to be open tomorrow, Sunday. Who should I call to have the battery replaced on my stair lift? I'm going to go on Google and try to find a phone number to call tomorrow. See how quickly I could get somebody to come and replace the batteries. I gave it a try. I couldn't take it apart. I said, you know what? I'm going to stop unplugging shit from the machine and just call a professional. Oh, well. Thank God I have a job and I'm able to pay for one. But those are my two fights. Now, I don't know if my ex-wife watches these videos. I'm in the camp. I don't really care. But I do care because I don't know what the hell she's going to bring back. Because I got to admit, I heard Kevin Gates talking about how upset are all your past exes when you get a new girl. They get offended. When they see you smiling and happy, that offends people. So it's like, after she signs the paper and we're done with the divorce, I could care less. I'm not doing anything to get her upset. I'm doing something to get me happy. And that just happened to get her upset. The fact that I'm happy. And then I'm moving on in life. Good luck with that lady. Peace. So let's see how far this gets. We're in January, 10th? Hopefully we get the paper signed by the end of the month. I already sent an email to my lawyer, and my lawyer says, hey, we're just waiting. What the hell are you talking about? She's reading the papers. What is there to read? Duh. But I'm going to say hopeful. In life, you got to reduce your stress, be happy, and just keep doing your videos. I'm going to try to get on here every day. Today's Saturday, January 10th. I'm going to get on tomorrow morning. I got one strike so far on my other channel, so now I'm scared. And the strike goes away in 90 days. So I'm still going to avoid posting shit on my other channel for 90 days until the strike goes away, because you never know. With that said, oh, there, Di, bye-bye. She said hi. She's there with my puppy. Mira pa' acá. Oh, there. Oh, she's not looking. With that said, see you guys in the next video. Peace.